Hello friends, this is NeuroHub21 and I shall be talking about bronchiectasis. What exactly bronchiectasis is? It is an irreversible airway dilation. It is an irreversible airway dilation. What exactly is irreversible airway dilation is let me show you. This is a normal bronchi. This is a normal bronchi, but this bronchi got irreversibly dilated. What exactly means irreversible means that it cannot be get back to its original state. It is dilated and it is irreversible. Okay, this is called bronchiectasis. So again I repeat, bronchiectasis refers to an irreversible airway dilation, refers to an irreversible airway dilation of a bronchi. Okay, let me talk about the etiology section. So there are two types of bronchiectasis. First is focal bronchiectasis and the second is diffuse bronchiectasis. Okay, let me talk about focal bronchiectasis and diffuse bronchiectasis. So coming back to our core agenda again, this is if the bronchiectasis or if the permanent dilation is present only a particular area, then it will be called as focal bronchiectasis. And if the bronchiectasis or the irreversible dilation is scattered to the different parts of the lung, this is called diffuse bronchiectasis. So again coming back to our etiology section, let us talk about focal bronchiectasis. So focal bronchiectasis is caused due to airway tumor. Okay, suppose there is a tumor here. Suppose there is a tumor here. By increment in the tumor, after some time pus will occur, and if the pus will increase, the elastic recoil, the elasticity, the elastin will be get damaged. Therefore due to the damage of elastin, it will get very dilated. Okay, the next topic, the next cause is aspirated foreign body. Suppose this is your lungs, and from the GIT tract there something goes inside your lungs. The aspiration of the any foreign body will damage the elasticity, will damage the pneumocytes present inside inside the bronchi, will damage the elastin. Okay, bronchial atresia, it is the congenital underdevelopment of an airway, and due to this bronchiectasis occurs. Now compression of adjacent lymphadenopathy. Suppose this is a lymph node, and this lymph node from outside enlargement of the lymph node occurs from the outside. Enlargement of the lymph node occurs from the outside, therefore infection will occur inside also, and due to that infection elastic recoil will lose its elasticity due to the loss in the elastin. Therefore bronchiectasis will occur. So again revise it: airway tumor, aspirated foreign body, bronchial ectasia, compression of adjacent lymphadenopathy, I talked about lymphadenopathy, and parenchymal tumor mass. If there is a tumor present inside the parenchyma, then bronchiectasis will occur. What is the procedure? The chronic inflammation will occur, it will damage the airways, the elastin get destroyed, the collagen gets deposited in the lungs, and the lungs will get stiffed. The patient will unable to blow the lungs. Okay, now it is plugged by mucus. Mucus is always present inside the inside the inside the bronchi. Now let us talk about diffuse bronchiectasis. Let us move ahead and talk about diffuse bronchiectasis. The first cause of diffuse bronchiectasis is infection, and infection of these three: Pseudomonas, Mycoplasma, and Bordetella pertussis. The most common three bacteria used which causes the bronchiectasis is Pseudomonas, Mycoplasma, and Bordetella pertussis. Now let us talk about the next uh, what will be the workup of this. The workup of the diagnostic of this is sputum or gram stains, culture stain. Okay, now immunodeficiency, HIV infection. Suppose a patient is immunodeficient. Therefore what exactly immunodeficient means? IgA is present inside your lungs, inside your lungs. and if the person is immunodeficient, immunoglobulin deficiency will occur. Therefore there will be no defense mechanism inside your lungs. If any foreign body will insert, then it will form the colony inside that. Therefore hypogamma globulinemia, hypo means decrease, gamma means gamma globulin, immunoglobulin, and emia means in the blood. HIV infection, these two causes are also cause bronchiectasis. How will we measure, how will we do the workup, how will we diagnose the IG measurement or immunoglobulin measurement or HIV testing and CBC? Okay, very important cause, genetic cause, cystic fibrosis and Carter-Jenner syndrome. Cystic fibrosis and Carter-Jenner syndrome workup. Let us talk about what is cystic fibrosis and Carter-Jenner syndrome. Okay, suppose this is suppose this is your cilia. Okay, let me make it here. Suppose this is your cilia. Suppose this is your cilia, and the mucus plugs adhere here. If the mucus is thickened, if the mucus gets thickened in cystic fibrosis, what is happening, the mucus gets thickened. Therefore the cilia is unable to bear the weight, bear the weight of unable to bear the weight of the cilia. Therefore therefore the cilia will not move it outside, move the mucus outside. The mucus will remain here, and due to the remaining of the mucus present, that what will happen, dilation will happen due to the infection, and elastin will be destroyed. And what exactly is Carter-Jenner syndrome? Let me talk about the Carter-Jenner syndrome. What is Carter-Jenner syndrome is, Carter-Jenner syndrome is immotile cilia is present. Immotile cilia means cilia is present but it is immotile, therefore unable to move the mucus outside. The difference between Carter-Jenner syndrome and the difference between Carter-Jenner syndrome and cystic fibrosis is mucoviscidosis is present. In cystic fibrosis, the problem is there in the mucus. The mucus is very thick, therefore elastin is damaged and permanent dilation will occur. And in Carter-Jenner syndrome, it is also called immotile ciliary dyskinesia. Immotile ciliary dyskinesia, cilia is immotile, unable to move the mucus outside, and difficulty in movement of the cilia will occur. Therefore movement of the mucus will not go outside. Therefore permanent dilation will occur due to the mucus accumulation, and infection will occur. So these are the basic causes. The workup of cystic fibrosis, we will check the chlorine level in the sweat, because it is, I will explain it in detail in our next class, or anytime I will make the video on cystic fibrosis. And in Carter-Jenner syndrome, brush biopsy is the main reason. Main diagnosis: alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency, you all know. If you don't know, let me again explain you. Alpha 1 antitrypsin is a protein. When neutrophil release elastase to kill pathogen, this elastase also breaks down the elastin present inside the pneumocytes. Okay, this elastin is present is get counteracted by anti-elastase enzyme known as antitrypsin. If antitrypsin deficiency will occur, this elastase will easily deplete the elastin of the pneumocytes. Then what will gonna happen is, if this elasticity will damage, then bronchiectasis will occur due to the damage of the pneumocytes. So therefore anti alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency is also the main reason of bronchiectasis. Autoimmune reasons are rheumatoid arthritis, Soren syndrome. Rheumatoid arthritis, infection and inflammation in the joints. What is Soren syndrome? It is also an autoimmune disease. And allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis. The workup of these is check rheumatoid factor. Tram track appearance will occur. This is the tram track appearance. Due to the bronchiectasis, permanent irreversible dilation. The investigation of choice is high resolution, CT scan. Okay, thank you guys. I hope you like the video. Thank you very much for more updates.